2 bottles of water, 2 silly billies, 40 Christian jokes. Who will laugh first?
Who was the youngest person to ever swear? Job. He cursed the day he was born.
Why did Jesus reserve a table for 26 at the Last Supper when there were only 12 disciples? Because they all sat on one side. Not very
I saw it
funny.
coming. I was thinking about how people seem to read the Bible a whole lot more as they get older. Then it dawned on me. They're cramming for their final exam. No,
Heard
come
that
on.
one before. A pastor, a priest, and a rabbit walk into a blood donation center. The rabbit says, "I think it might be a typo." You know, that's funny. That was one of my funniest ones. That was hilarious.
I barely made it.
So I think you just realized the joke when he said rabbit.
I'm sorry, I definitely laughed, but I made it first. A bus full of ugly people had a head-on had a head-on collision with a truck. When they died, God granted all of them one wish. The first person said, "I want to be gorgeous." God snapped his fingers, and it happened. The second person said the same thing, and God did the same thing. This went on through the whole group. God noticed the last man in line was laughing hysterically. By the time God got to the last 10 people, the last man was laughing and rolling on the ground. When the man's turn came, he laughed and said, "I wish they were all ugly again." Go on.
All this controversy over what race Jesus was is silly. He was clearly white. I mean, according to my understanding of transubstantiation, Jesus was a cracker. Spit it out! Yes! Ew. That's gross.
Gosh. Oh, that was good. What happened to the Philistine gods? They gone.
Boom.
Come on.
That was funny.
I think you just don't have any Bible knowledge.
No, I know.
You
Dagon
know.
is the guy who fell over, right? A pastor is walking down the street one day when he notices a small boy trying to use the doorbell on a house across the street. However, the boy is very small and the doorbell is too high for him to reach. After watching the boy's efforts for some time, the pastor walks across the street up to the little fellow and rings the doorbell. Kneeling down next to the child, the pastor smiles and asks, "Now what, my little man?" To which the boy replies, "Run!" So the joke is, there's like this thing where people like go up to a doorbell and like ring it as a like prank and then run away. But then this guy can reach the doorbell and then the pastor comes and then they'll think that it was the pastor doing that stupid prank.
Oh. Who was the first person? Nope. That's so easy. Complete speak up. Oh, that's just trivia. Okay. I spoiled the question, though. Who is the fastest person in the Bible? Adam. He was first in the human race. Come on, I gotcha.
Oh no! Did I go on the phone?
No, it's fine.
A collector of rare books ran into an old friend who told him he had just thrown away an old Bible that he had found in a dusty old box. He happened to mention that Guten somebody or other had printed it. Not Gutenberg? Gasped the collector. Yes, that was it. Do you know what you have done? You've thrown away one of the first books ever printed. Copy recently sold at auction for $500,000. Well, I don't think this one would have been worth anywhere close to that, replied his friend. It was scribbled all over in the margins by some guy named Martin Luther. Yes! I want a good speaker.
That's very funny. That's very funny. What do they call pastors in Germany? German shepherds.
I saw that one. A Jewish rabbi decides that he wants to know what pork tastes like, so he travels all the way to a different town so no one will recognize him. He orders the most expensive pork on the menu, and after a long time, the waiter brings a giant roasted pig, covered in herbs and sauces, even with a bright red apple in its jaws. Suddenly, the door swings open and one of the rabbi's friends walks in. Too shocked to speak, the friend's mouth just hangs wide open in surprise. After a long, awkward silence, the rabbi says, "They sure served this apple I ordered real fancy, didn't they?" That's laughing. I don't care. Yes!
What kind of man was Boaz before he married? Ruthless. Come on, you just spit it out. You know it was funny. Come on. Come on, you can't just swallow now. You have to wait until you stop laughing. My bro laughed. You saw him. You saw him bouncing up and down, laughing.
The Pope is on a papal visit to the U.S. and is met at the airport by a limousine. He greets his driver, but before getting in, he suddenly stops and says, "I hope you don't mind, but no one ever lets me drive my own car. Just this once, if you sit in the back, could I please drive myself?" The driver looks a bit uncomfortable, but thinks there's no way he could refuse a request from the Pope, so he agrees and gets in the back. With a grin, the Pope jumps behind the wheel and immediately floors it out of the airport, drifting onto the main road and speeding away. The next thing the driver knows, his limo is on the freeway at nearly double the speed limit, and it's not long before flashing lights and sirens appear in the rear window, and the Pope obediently pulls over. The cop approaches the window, looks inside, gulps, and immediately retreats to his car. He gets on the radio. "Boss, I just pulled someone over going twice the speed limit." "So? Bust him." "No, I can't. This guy is important. Even better, make an example of him." "No, you don't understand. He's super important." "Who the heck have you stopped? The president?" "I think it's God." "God? No, what? Wait. Why do you think it's God?" "Well, he's riding in a limo and his chauffeur is the Pope." You saw it coming, didn't you?
I've heard that one before. I can't tell which is funnier. The joke or just imagining the Pope going twice the speed limit in a limousine.
I could hear you start laughing
Pope
at that
Francis
part.
is just like, why didn't they play cards on the ark? Because Noah was standing on the deck.
That was just funny because of the image of him just like stubbornly standing on the deck of cards. Where is the first baseball game in the Bible? In the beginning, Eve stole first, Adam stole second, Cain struck out Abel. Oh no, not the phone! Poor audience just like probably got like a jump scare of just water just like rushing.
Why do Christians say amen at the end of a prayer instead of saying a woman? Same reason we sing hymns instead of hers.
No, I'm sorry, phone. Joe was opening a new business, and one of his friends decided to send flowers for the occasion. The flowers arrived, and Joe read the card. It said, "Rest in peace." Joe, enraged, called the florist to complain. The florist replied, "Sir, I'm really sorry for the mistake, but rather than getting angry, you should imagine this. Somewhere there is a funeral taking place today, and they have flowers with a note saying, 'Congratulations on your new location.'" Do it! Yeah! R.I.P. Hot. Whoa! That was like a volcano erupting. You're just like.
Does God love everyone? Mm-hmm. Yes, but he prefers fruits of the Spirit to religious nuts.
That was one of those clever ones. That was clever.
What can I say? I came up with none of these.
Which Old Testament prophet took forever to make a point? I say, so stupid. So stupid. Yes! Yes!
Which Bible character was super fit? Absalom. So dumb. I can barely even stand myself. Come on.
That's so stupid. See, the stupid ones make people laugh more somehow. Why wouldn't the Pharaoh let the Hebrews go? He was in the Nile. He's like in denial. Yeah. Dang it.
Who in the Bible knew the most people? Abraham knew a lot. It takes him so long every time. 90% of this video is still Zeke laughing. Aww.
Need an ark? I know a guy.
What size was the lumber that was made to build the ark? 2 by 2.
Why did Moses cross the Red Sea? To get to the other side.
Oh, that's so funny.
I think that should count for 2 points. No, okay.
No. On their way to get married, a young Catholic couple is involved in a fatal car accident. The couple found themselves sitting outside the pearly gates, waiting for St. Peter to process them into heaven. While waiting, they began to wonder, could we possibly get married in heaven? When St. Peter showed up, they asked him. St. Peter said, I don't know. This is the first time anyone has asked. Let me go find out. And he left. The couple sat and waited and waited. 2 months passed and the couple was still waiting. While waiting, they began to wonder, what would happen if it didn't work out? Could you possibly get a divorce in heaven? After yet another month, St. Peter finally returned, looking somewhat bedraggled. Yes, he informed the couple, you can indeed get married in heaven. Great, said the couple. But we were just wondering, what if that doesn't work out? Could we somehow get a divorce in heaven? St. Peter, red-faced with anger, slammed his clipboard on the ground. What's wrong? Asked the frightened couple. Oh, come on, St. Peter shouted. It took me 3 months to find a priest who got up here. Do you have any idea how long it will take me to find a lawyer?
That's so stereotypical. A young couple invited their pastor for Sunday dinner. While they were in the kitchen preparing the meal, the minister asked the son what they were having. Pig, the little boy replied. Pig, replied the pastor. Are you sure about that? Yes, said the youngster. I heard Dad say to Mom, we might as well have the old pig for dinner today as any other day. The old pig, like they were referring to the pastor, and then like they just got totally exposed. Might as well have the old pig for dinner, like come over for dinner today. I get it. Smart. Right? Is that even legal?
2 guys are walking through a game park, and they come across a lion that hasn't eaten for days. Lion starts chasing the 2 men. They run as fast as they can, and the one guy starts getting tired and decides to say a prayer. Please, Lord, turn this lion into a Christian, Lord. He looks to see if the lion is still chasing, and he sees the lion on its knees. Happy to see his prayer answered, he turns around and heads towards the lion. As he comes closer to the lion, he hears this prayer it's saying. Thank you, Lord, for the food I'm about to receive.
Heard it.
Dang it.
A priest and a rabbi are in a car crash, and it's pretty bad. Both of their cars are totaled, but neither one of them is hurt. After they crawl out of their cars, the rabbi says, So you're a priest? That's interesting. I'm a rabbi. Wow, just look at our cars. There's nothing left to either one of them, but we're unhurt. This must be a sign of God that we should meet and be friends and live together in peace. The priest replies, Oh yes, I agree. It's a miracle that we survived and are here together. And here's another miracle, says the rabbi. My car is destroyed, but this bottle of wine didn't break. Surely God wants us to drink the wine to help celebrate our good fortune, he says, handing the bottle to the priest. The priest nods in agreement, opens the wine, drinks half of it, and hands it back to the rabbi. The rabbi takes it and puts the cap back on. Are you going to have any? Asked the priest. Not right now, said the rabbi. I think I'm going to wait until after the police make their report. I realize now that has nothing to do with Christianity, but it's funny.
Late one night, a preacher was driving on a country road and had a wreck. A farmer stopped and said, Sir, are you okay? The preacher said, Yes, I'm all right. The Lord was with me. The farmer said, Well, you better let him ride with me next time, because you're going to kill him. Why did that take you so long? It's such an obvious joke. Come on. Come on. It's funny. What were you not getting? You're just dumb.
After a very long and boring sermon, the parishioners filed out of the church, saying nothing to the preacher. Towards the end of the line was a thoughtful person who always commented on the sermons. Pastor, today your sermon reminded me of the peace and love of God. The pastor was thrilled. No one has ever said anything like that about my preaching before. Tell me why. Well, it reminded me of the peace of God because it passed all understanding, and the love of God because it endured forever. Do it! Yeah!
What do you call a wandering nun? A roaming Catholic.
What happens when you cross an agnostic and a dyslexic? Someone who can never tell if their pet dog is real. No! That was horrible!
A church's bell ringer passed away. The church posted a job opening in the local newspapers, classified ads, and a man came in with no arms wanting the job. The priest wasn't sure he could do it, but he convinced them to let him try. They climbed the bell tower, and the guy ran towards the bell and hit it with his face, producing a beautiful melody. They gave him the job. Alright, hold on.
Did he tell you?
Hold on, get more water.
Okay. You could have given double points.
They gave him the job on the spot. The one priest turned to the other. Do you know this guy? The other responded, no, but his face rings a bell.
You got double points for a joke! Twice
That was
during.
such a good one.
God looks down and notices that Adam is all alone while all the animals have companions, so he decides to create a companion for man as well. He comes to see Adam and says to him, Adam, you are my greatest creation, and therefore I am going to create you, the ultimate companion for you and all your descendants. She will worship the very ground you walk on, she will long for you and no other, she will be highly intelligent, she will wait on your hand and foot and obey your every command, she will be beautiful, but it will cost you an arm and leg. Thinking for a few moments, Adam replies, what could I get for a rib? Very sexist joke. Yeah!
Who was the smallest man in the Bible? King David, because he was only 12 inches tall, being a ruler and all.
Mainly the image of just like little ruler. Just like, An impoverished old traditional Christian man applied for a membership in a wealthy liberal megachurch. The pastor tried to put him off with all kinds of evasive remarks. The old man became aware that he was not welcome there, finally told the pastor that he would pray about it. After several days he returned. Well, asked the pastor, did the Lord give you a message? Yes, sir, he did, was the old man's answer. He told me it wasn't any use. He said, I've been trying to get in that same church myself for 10 years and they won't let me in either. I knew that would make you laugh because that's a Reconquista joke.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. This joke is set in a small rural community. So small, in fact, that the only church in town is a small Baptist church, whose pastor must also double up as the local barber to make ends meet. There happened to be a man in this small community who needed a shave. He was rather well-to-do, so he headed down to the barber shop. He walked in and found the preacher/barber was busy trimming hair and beards. The barber's wife, Grace, said, I usually do the shaves anyway. Sit down and I'll shave you. When she finished, he paid her and went on his way. The next day, he woke up and found his face to be just as smooth as the day before. And the next day after that, he woke again to find his face just as smooth as the day before. Wow, he thought, that's amazing, as he normally would have to shave daily to keep his clean-shaven business look. Day 3, he woke up and his face was still just as smooth as the minute after Grace had finished. Now somewhat perplexed, the man went down to the barber shop to ask some questions. He asked the barber why his face was just as smooth as the first day it was shaven. The kind old pastor gently retorted, Friend, you were shaved by grace, and once shaved, always shaved.
That's funny. While teaching children about world religions, a teacher asks her students to bring a symbol of their family's faith to class. The next day, she asks each student to come forward and share the symbol with the class. Are you? The first child said, I'm Muslim and this is my prayer rug. The second child said, I'm Jewish and this is my family's menorah. The third child said, I'm Roman Catholic and this is my mom's rosary. The fourth child said, I'm Greek Orthodox and this is an icon of my patron saint. The fifth child said, I'm a Baptist and this is my casserole dish. Yes!
Alright, thanks guys. I really appreciate you watching. I would appreciate you more if you subscribed. And, I don't know, hit the notification bell maybe.
I just choked.
Alright, we'll see you next time.